Alright guys, so I realized after when I started editing this video that I didn't give any context before it of what I was doing. So this is just going to be the explanation of what's going on in this video. I pretty much was just making it for Tori, my wife, to see after, so she could see like the process of it, but I decided to make a video total of it. And what it originally was going to be is I was going to surprise her with it for Christmas. This was a while ago when I did it. Because my son was going to be born in February, which he was, and everything went great. We're very thankful the Lord blessed us with that. But this was going to be his nursery that she kept begging me to do, and I kept putting it off because I was planning on surprising with her being done. But I didn't get any of that done. I got a large portion of it done, and I did surprise her that I actually was working on it, but she didn't help me halfway through. But pretty much this is just a process of that nursery getting done, and I think it turned out well, but I wanted to get some context to it before we just jumped right into it, because I didn't feel an amateur or anything, because I'm not very good at making videos. But that's what this is about, and maybe y'all like it and see what's going on in the house. Went ahead and tore some of this trim off. I was trying to see if these are split jams, and they are. They're just going to paint the whole things. And, you know, I love my grandpa to death, but the idea to stain finger jointed door jams, I gotta question that. But you know, this is what was in style back in early 2000s, was this very yellowish trim and doors and brass finishers, you know. Everything changes. So I'm not gonna throw them up on that, but it is out of style now. So this is the way we got it laid out now. Some sweet wallpaper my grandmother put up there for us. She had some good taste back then, but it needs to go now. I'm going to paint the trim. This wall over here, I think Tori said she wanted board and batten. I hope so, because it's what it's going to be. Going to do a board and batten wall over here, and like a olivey green, and then the rest is all going to be, the lighting's playing with me, but the rest is all going to be like a gray. Going to have a bench seat here. This is going to be like the changing table. The wall behind me with board and batten is going to be where the crib's at, and then we're going to have like a little I forget what you call, fainting couch type thing that I bought, or Tori found it, and I still haven't fixed it up, but it's an old fainting couch that I'm going to redo and turn it into like a trundle bed. I don't know what you'd call it, but just something, if we have to get sleep up here with baby or something, we can. But that's the game plan. I'm going to jump into it. First things first, I'm going to change all the trim on the windows. I don't like this style trim. I'm going to go back more with a, you know, like a early craftsman slash, I know farmhouses had it in there. Mine's more basic, so like I said, it'd be a farmhouse. It's not really, the trim's not going to be a really expansive compound trim. More of a farmhouse look, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into it. Let's have some fun with it, but I have less than 24 hours because my grandpa came by to talk to me, and I spent 3 hours talking to him, which I enjoy the time. Got to take time to enjoy family, but at the same time, I'm behind schedule, so let's jump into it. Alright guys, got a little update for you. I got the trim off on all the windows. Wasn't too hard, just popped right off. These doors weren't too bad. I take a couple finish screws out, finish nails. On the trim right here, I had to cut it so my wire trim could go in. And all I did is just run an oscillating tool. It's pretty easy. Just ran this oscillating tool right here. These things are you never think you need one until you have one, and you'll find jobs for it all the time. They're pretty handy. But I just cut those right there, make room for it, and then I've got this first door trimmed out. And I'm just gonna go with a simple trim. I think this is something you'd see in a farmhouse 100 years ago. Just something easy they could run on a mill back then. And that's kind of the look I want to go for. I don't want to go anything too fancy or too craftsman, because I want it to look like a farmhouse. Even though this house is only, 20-some years old, I want to look like a house that's 100 years old when I'm done. Or try to get some of that feel to it. So that trim is there, gonna knock it out, do the same thing on all the windows, and this door right here, I'll give you an update when I get done with it. Alright guys, I got that window finished up. I think it turned out pretty good. I gotta, of course paint it. That's what all that black stuff on it is, but I really like the way that looks. I think that's gonna look pretty good. Ties in nicely with the door. I got this door finished up. It turned out pretty good. Starting to come together. but I didn't buy enough material to finish this one up. So I gotta go buy more wood for this, but I also gotta buy paint. So I'm waiting to go to Lowe's to do that. And I started tearing down the wallpaper. I've tore down a lot of wallpaper in this house so far, and my tips is no matter what you do, it's not gonna be fun, but fabric softener and a putty knife goes a long way. This one actually came off really easy. If you can get that top layer of the actual, like this right here, the actual, what do you call them, print pattern to come off and get to the glue, then you can just spray this glue down with fabric softener and let it soak in, and then putty knife will peel it right off. If you can't get that top layer of print to separate from the actual glue, then your best thing is to get a scoring tool. It's this little thing, looks like a palm sander, and you just circle it around a whole bunch and it scratches it and lets that fabric softener get through to the second layer. I've tried all that fancy chemical stripper stuff that's supposed to be for wallpaper and all that, and fabric softener honestly is so much, it's just the best way to go. And no matter what you do, it's gonna be a lot of work, so just prepare yourself. But this one is by far the easiest one I've had to do so far. Most of it, like this wall right here, pretty much all of it just peeled off and just a little bit of glue is left. Quite a bit of glue left on that one. This whole wall has some glue left, but that's easy. That's gonna be nothing. So I got that done. I'm gonna go to Lowe's. Well, actually, I'm gonna finish taking the rest of this glue down, and then I'm gonna go to Lowe's, buy some paint, and then I gotta rip the MDF for this board and batten. Gotta cut the battens to go on this wall, and then we can start painting. All right. All right, guys, a little update. Got all the doors, got all the doors, all the windows trimmed out. This is the last one. It turned out pretty good. I really like it. That's a good look. It's just clean, simple, nothing too much. Got all the wallpaper taken off the walls. That was a little bit of a chore. Not fun. It's never fun to remove wallpaper, but it looks so much better when it finally comes down. So now we got all that done. The next step is run battens on this wall here. I've got them cut. What I did is I just ripped them out of a 3/4 inch MDF. I'll show that to you. But I just bought a full sheet. It was gonna be like $9 a piece to get 2 1/4 3/4 pieces of wood to go up that wall. And I just bought a full sheet of MDF. I actually had a full sheet in 3/4 MDF for another project. And I just ripped them down to 2 1/4 little strips for the battens, and I'm gonna throw them up on this wall here. Look at all that wallpaper. There's a pile over here too. Not fun, but it's finally done. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, I got into this and got a little carried away. Got into the zone in here and started painting. I didn't give an update, but here's what the battens look like before you paint them. Got it thrown on. I put these on like 16, 15, 16ths. That's what I could get to work out the best to where they're even all the way across. But you can see here, it's just 3/4 inch MDF. And I just took a full sheet and ripped them down. These are roughly 2 1/4 a piece, and then I just ripped them down. But I started painting them. Step back here so you can actually get a full look. And that's the color we're gonna go with on this wall here. And then we're gonna be gray in the rest of the room. Trim's gonna stay white. But that's where I'm at right now, rocking and rolling. I will say, painting around these battens and trimming everything out kinda sucks. I really don't like painting, but it's gonna be worth it when we're done. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. All right, y'all. Well, we rocked that out. Got 2 coats on there. Waiting for it to dry. I'm gonna start painting the other walls now. Going with a nice, cool gray. Looks the same as this, but Tori says it doesn't. I'm just kidding. It's a little bit different than this white. It's a more stone white, I guess you say, versus this alabaster. But that's what she wants. She doesn't know I'm painting this, obviously, since I'm doing this for Christmas, but we did go pick up paint colors a while back, and she's had them in the junk drawer, and I just pulled them out. So I sure hope this is the color she wants, because that's what we got. And this stuff is too expensive to take back, which they won't take back, but it's too expensive to paint over is what I meant. But let's start rocking these other walls out. get into it. Update time, guys. Got the gray on, 2 coats. Took longer than I wanted to. Tori's back and she's seen it, so I definitely did not finish it for her in time, but she's helping me now and we're getting it rolling. Next step's gonna be paint and trim and changing the doors out and the hardware, and then changing this fixture. It needs to go. So we're gonna jump on that, and when we get that done, I'll give you all a little update how it's going. All right guys, progress report time. We've got all the trim painted now. It was a pain in the butt, but it's all painted now. Door, I got some cleaning up to do on some of it, but it is painted and it looks way better. Changes the whole look of the room. It looks sharp. I really like looking down this little cove here. I just think it looks sharp. And got Dad come over and he helped me move the light switch from this side, which was the door swung open against this. And I know I talked about switching the door, but it made more sense to me because Tori wants, well, not to me, I was gonna leave it, but Tori wants to put the changing table here. And she didn't want the door swinging against it. We also want to be able to get the light switch when you open the door. And when you open it up this way, it covered the light switch. So we moved it, ran it up and over, back down. Now the light switch is over here. That was a pain in the butt, but it's done. And new fixture. Check that out. Looks sharp. I really like that way that looks. But she's coming together. All we got left to do now is fix the doors. Got that one to do. Got this one to do. Haven't really figured out yet if I'm going to put new doors in, or I'd really like to change these to a 2-panel. I haven't figured that out yet, but that, put the covers on and start getting everything set in here. And old Judd's room will be ready. All right, on the next thing, I'll get you updated. All right guys, a little update for you. So we want to change these doors out. They're 6-panel, just regular solid wood pine doors. And I mean, I like the fact that they're solid wood, but I do not like a 6-panel door. Never have. And the whole look of this whole house is I want it to feel like it's 100 years old, even though it's like 20 years old. So a 2-panel door is what we want to go with. But, you know, I didn't really want to, I like to keep the original doors of the house just because they're original doors. And 2, it'll save money. So I couldn't find anything on the internet, so it's kind of flying by my seat of my pants here. But what I've done is I've just taken a skill saw and set my depth to just try to cut these panels out. And I've ripped down through here all the way on this one, and then I ripped this panel out all the way through here. These out, I've ripped this style out. And what I'll do is I'll just beat these out and put a panel back in and then put the trim back in. And I think this is where I'm leaving this style, and that style, and then I'm going to glue the panel in and put trim back in. It should leave enough strength in the door for it to not sag or anything. But I'll knock these out real quick and put the next panel in, and I'll give you all an update in here in a second. All right guys, got those busted out. Just sawed them out. Another little point of this tool, I know I've said it before, and people think these are useless, but this is one of the handiest things. You always find jobs to use them for. But what I did working with the skill saw here is cut these corners off, and then where these stiles came in here and right here, I just zipped them off where the dowels are in, cut down in there. Then took a little mallet and hit them from the bottom side, so I didn't want to bust this trim out here. So I hit them from the bottom, popped them up, and there they are, landing on the ground. But we'll throw the panels in and I'll give you a little shot of that. All right, guys, I got this first panel put in here, and measured a little wrong. Should have got 3/8 material instead of 1/2 inch, but I'm just making do with what I got. So what I did is routed a little 1/8 inch bevel, or I don't know what that's called. Anyways, I took an 1/8 inch out on this side just so that it drops down inside of that other side trim right there, and that's what I'll put my glue on, so that, let me put it in here for you. Drop this down in there. So that sits down in there like that, and then what that does, let me find my trim piece for you. It's right here somewhere. There it is. So when I put my trim piece in here, it allows that to sit flush top of that door. So if I would have just bought, you know, 3/8 material, I wouldn't have to do that, but that's gonna work out all right. So what I'll do is I'll put this trim in here real quick, glue it and shoot it, and then I'll show you the finished project. All right. All right, guys, I went ahead and knocked the closet door out, and I've got them sit them on the opposite side so you can see the difference. So this is the side that you saw when I was working on it, and I just put this piece of trim in here and nailed it to it, glued it down, and that's what it looks like. Turned out pretty good. And this will be the other side. We had to router the relief onto it, so you can see where I routed that in. And you know, they don't match perfectly, but when they get painted, I think they're gonna look fine. I think it turned out real good. I almost like this side better, but we'll see when it gets painted. But I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference between the two. But we'll get these painted up. We're gonna paint them white, and then I'm gonna put. Tori found some old crystal antique doorknobs and put back on them, and I think these will look like maybe. At least they won't look brand new. Maybe they'll look older. But yeah, that's that done. All finished up. I'll show you when they're painted and hung. Let's go. All right, guys, I got them all finished up. Sorry if it's loud or it's snowing outside, but I got them sanded and painted. Here's the side where this turned out. The side with the MDF. This is the original trim. And then this is the side that I put trim on it. And in there, side by side, they look pretty daggone close. And then Tori's aunt and her uncle gave her these old crystal knobs out of her uncle's parents' house. And she wanted to use them, so we're gonna throw them on there. That'd be a little jerry rigging to get them to work. But that one's getting stuck. Have to do some work on that one, but it does have a lock. But the next step will be throwing them up, and then I'll give you all a final walkthrough, and this room's gonna be done. So I think these doors turned out pretty good. Good deal. All right, guys, this is gonna be the final video. This thing's all done. This is the, I obviously have to redo the rest of this house so the trim doesn't match, but focus on this room first. But here's the door hung. And this is the final project, or product. Can't talk. There she is. All ready for the boy. Turned out pretty good. Tori's got it all decorated. Ready for the boy show up. Turned out pretty good. This is that fainting couch. It had like a little thing over here that I already did. And we just kind of mocked up those mattresses. We might do something later down the road, but that's what they look like right now. I think the doors turned out really good. I'm really pleased with how they turned out. Here you go. Before, after. Same door. And then Tori made these. She painted this one, and then her mama and her mama painted that one, and my grandma and my mom painted that one. And I made the frames out of tobacco sticks that I used to hang it back on. And then here is a rocking chair, same rocking chair that I used to get rocked in. We redid it, repainted it, and my mom got the cushions redone. And then here's this door. I think it turned out pretty good. And I even like the knobs. Old school. So, I don't know if it looked quite like it was you know, 100 years old, but maybe it's close. That's all finished up. Ready for the boy to come home. But I'm rather pleased with it. All right, let's go do something else.